Hi everyone, Adam here from Ads Productions. This is a bit of a different one today. I thought I would review a beer. Why not? This particular beer is called Pernicious Weed. It's from the folks over at Garage Project. They're based in Wellington, New Zealand, which, if you're not familiar, is the very southernmost point of the North Island. They are kind of like the big dogs of New Zealand craft beer. So here's some context where it gets its somewhat wacky name from. The arrival of hops to the brewing scene in England in the 1500s led to a moral panic. Hops were condemned as a wicked and pernicious weed, hence the name, one which would lead to the erosion of social and moral standards. Thank goodness they were right. Here's hoping that our homage to the original pernicious weed continues this gradual decline. So there's some of that classic Kiwi humour and sarcasm, just to add a bit more personality to the beer, which is really cool. Obviously, it's not all about the beer itself. I know that sounds a bit sacrilegious to say, but sometimes you want to have the beer with a bit more personality on the outside with their marketing and stuff, which basically perfectly complements whatever we're about to pour in the glass. The design of the can is very interesting. You've got kind of like a comic book style font for the Pernicious Weed main name across the front. And then you've got a couple of American style cars along the bottom. There's just a lot to look at. It's definitely not one of those boring cans that you see with just a name on it, and then it's kind of up to you to figure out the whole aesthetic of what's going on. It means business, and it's not underselling the fact that it is hops, 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 and more hops. It's sitting at 8% ABV. It's going to pack a punch, so obviously go very careful with these. Treat it as your end of your night beer rather than your let's get started beer, because yeah, you may get started, but yeah, you might not end very well. At the bottom there, you've got the Garage Project logo, which is a nice addition. Looks like the rear of the car. But you don't really care about the look of the can. It looks great, but the most important thing is, what does it look like itself as a beer, and what does it taste like? So let's go ahead and crack this beer open and see what we've got. When you pour it out, you get a really nice hazy amber style. Immediately you get the impression that this is a beer that's going to warm you up and it's not going to mess around. Great stuff. There's a very low level of carbonation with this beer, as you can see in the glass. Definitely on the low end of things. A little bit here and there, but nothing to write home about. You're going to be welcomed fully to the hop party when you smell this. The hops just hit your nose immediately. It's a sign of things to come. An extremely hoppy beer. You gotta love it. Strong smells of citrus on this one. If you don't like citrus, steer clear of this. If you do, you're in for a real treat. Citrus is definitely the overwhelming smell or aroma that you get from this, with a hint of grapefruit chucked in there as well, just for good measure. Anyone lurking around the double IPA space, such as this one, you're not really going to be an entry-level beer drinker. You know what you like. You know that you like double IPAs. And this is a very, very bitter IPA. I think it sums it up perfectly on the back of the beer, where it says, bitter yes, intensely hoppy, absolutely, too much, never. And personally, as a fan of double IPAs, this is a fantastic beer. So overall then, this is an extremely drinkable beer. At 8%, you would kind of think it would be a little bit overwhelming, or you'd have that alcohol taste in your throat. It's not the case with this. It's a very dangerous drink in a good way. You would never know you were drinking 8% beer. If you like hoppy beers, you're going to love this one. There's no doubt about it. The design of the can, I'd probably give about an 8 out of 10, because it's got a very unique style with a quirky story to go with it. The smell, or the aroma, depending on how beer snobby you want to get, the aroma would be roughly a 7 out of 10, with citrus being the key word, and again, very strong hoppy tones in that. You're going to smell it and you're going to know straight away, hops, hops, hops. The taste is a very, very bitter beer, with the majority of the flavour being a citrus, but mostly grapefruit style. So I'd probably give the flavour an 8 out of 10, and overall I would give this an 8 out of 10. I personally like double IPA beers quite a lot, so this is right up my alley. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Adam from Ads Productions with a bit of a different video. Decided to make a beer video. It might work, it might not. Who cares? I wanted to do it. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.